Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. One more time with the Arthas event and Pit of Saron Mythic, because I have obviously been a little bit unhappy with the Living Bomb strategies for Pit of Saron Mythic, and I noticed that Professor has done this with Ragnaros without using Living Bomb, and I took the damage package from there, so the damage package being Eclipse and Starfall in this case. But I think I can do better than Ragnaros. I think I can do better with Ysera. So in this video, I'm going to showcase a Ysera build for Pit of Saron Mythic that does not rely on Living Bomb, and it's instead actually pretty consistent. Main mechanic in Pit of Saron are these winter storms, and they are absolutely brutal on Mythic, and they're also a little bit random. The first storm starts after 30 seconds, and then there's going to be one every 49 seconds, so they do come at the exact time. You know exactly when they're coming. 300, 211, 122, 033, and 044 in overtime. But they have 3 possible routes, and it's chosen randomly, and there's no visual indicator. You only see it when it comes to a crossroads, and you see if it turns or not. When a winter storm hits your minis, they are stunned for 6 seconds. When they're freed, they explode for 40 elemental damage on a radius of 4. But the worst part is that the storm applies a stack of poison on a mini every 0.25 seconds when it passes through. So that's going to be 288 poison damage in the 4 seconds it takes for the storm to go over the mini, and before the poison wears off, the mini has taken 928 poison damage. As for phase changes, there are not many in Pit of Saron. There's actually only one, and there's no phase change indicator, but it's at 50%. At 50%, Arthas is going to wake up Gish, spawn a bonus winter storm, in addition to the one scheduled, apply 3 stacks of poison on all of your minis and explode them, cleanse his poison stacks from himself, and gains a 90% damage shield for 5 seconds. So 5 seconds after the phase change, don't try to push in damage, because it just won't do much. If you were on some kind of poison plan, then yeah, you could start stacking up poison, but much damage won't happen. But the fight ends when Arthas reaches 10% health. The Starfall plan for this one looks like this. So I have Ysera here again with the global sleep. That's important. You want to sleep everything you want to sleep, Gish and goggles and everything. Then I have Earth Elemental. Here it's with Taunt, but it could be with Obsidian Shard. That would be perfectly fine. I have Starfall, and Starfall needs the talent for extended length. And then I have Priestess, giving the shield, powered shield. That's actually pretty important to keep the Chimeras alive. Then I have Eclipse, and Eclipse needs to have the talent that gives +2 levels to the next spell you cast if you cast it immediately after Eclipse, so that you can do Eclipse into Starfall. Then I have Chimera with double poison, and then I have a Dark Eye Miner. Talent doesn't really matter. And the plan with this is you start actually pretty much like my other Ysera comp, so I want to get mining with Kobold, I want to get mining with Dark Eye Miner if I can. I will send Chimera and the Priestess to take the tower, so I like to send Chimera going through the right side of the lane and Priestess to left side of the lane, so that they won't be hit by the same missiles. And here I can also support them with the Earth Elemental, and then I can also support them with the Ysera minis. And I'm going to defend with the Chimera, I'm going to defend with spells, I'm going to defend with Ysera minis, and I'm going to try to attack with those Chimeras. And actually, when I was playing this comp, my main problem usually was that I was pushing phases too early. Because you want to push the phase, you want to hit 50% at the start of overtime ideally, or a little bit into overtime. That would be perfect because you really need the gold in order to be able to race. Because you're trying to race by casting Eclipse and then Starfall. They have to be cast back to back, so make sure that the Starfall is in the root form when you cast Eclipse. Either form will do. Then it will change into Starfall, and then you can cast the Starfall form. You can change these forms quite easily because you have Ysera, so you can use Ysera minis to change forms at any time you like. And levels are really crucial because 2 sets of Eclipse or Starfall should be able to kill Arthas or get Arthas 10%. And I originally actually couldn't do it with this comp before I used that Valor slot, because I had -1 Starfall and -3 Eclipse, and that was a little bit too little. So I think actually -1 Starfall, -2 Eclipse would have probably done it. -2 Starfall, I don't think there's a recovery from that. Starfall is so much of your damage. But here I have even level Starfall, -3 Eclipse, and that does it really nicely. The Eclipse, of course, gives Starfall 2 levels, so an even Starfall is then +2 levels Starfall when actually cast. But yeah, getting the levels on those spells, that's absolutely crucial for this one. Then try not to push the phases too early, but then again, sometimes if you try to delay, then you're suddenly too late. So trying to find that balance when you can push the phase. And then when you push the phase, push it so that you will have hibernation in hand. You want to have, you can cycle through the Ysera minis one full cycle, I think, and then a little bit more so that you get to the second hibernation. I think second hibernation, maybe you can even get to third hibernation. A little bit uncertain about that, but you can use your Ysera minis. And then when overtime gets closer, you have hibernation, hold it, so that when you're going to get the phase change, you will hibernate first, so that all of those gargoyles will be stopped, and then you will start pushing those spells and pushing the damage into Arthas. If you can also get something like Chimera out there, maybe even before the phase change, so that it would kill the gargoyle that's coming through the mid lane. So because that gargoyle is a little bit annoying, and then you kite Gish with the Earth Elemental, that's even better. You will see in the gameplay footage. But something like that, and this one you don't have to wait for anything. Well, you have to wait for overtime, but you don't have to wait for any spawns. So this is actually remarkably consistent once you're able to just get this going. You even have some time, because my biggest problem was probably that I kept pushing the phases too early. And then I went into the final race before overtime, and that just didn't work. But successful attempt with this is what it looks like in action. All right, here we go. Pit of Saron Mythic, no living bomb. So the usual opener. This is similar to what I have done with many other builds as well. Get the kobold out there, get the chimera out there, get the priestess on the other side. I'm trying to mine. Here wasn't even a perfect start because I lost 1 gold there, but that really doesn't matter too much. You're going to be remarkably fine with this one. Here I'm venturing a chance I'm sending another chimera out here. It's possible that the first winter storm will go through the left lane. And if it does, then that's typically a little bit bad. But you should be able to do it even through that, because you have a little bit of extra time, but then you like use all of your additional time with that, and well, that's what happens here. I don't like this because I lose some chimeras. I could have sent the second chimera through the mid, but I figured it would be better through the left. Either way, I have those Ysera whelps doing a phenomenal job there. Can use some Earth Elementals, keep those from progressing, and also I got to kill the miner, so I didn't give them any gold, which is important. And here a little bit of sleep, because I noticed that that Plague Farmer just might get a shot into my upcoming rocket tower before it's ready, and now it did not, so that's looking good. All right, there's another winter storm coming. There's also a gargoyle coming. And let's see. Well, I can't taunt the gargoyle, of course. I just needed to cycle something from my hand. And Moonfire, really nice for killing some spiderlings. But you have to pay a little bit of attention on how you cycle through the various shapes of Eclipse and of Earth and Moon. Because you want to get into this in a position where you will be able to get the Starfall out there immediately after Eclipse. And you also want to use the hibernation. So first you should have Starfall form, and Eclipse can be in any form at the end, and then you hibernate, use whatever form of Eclipse you have, and then that gets you back to the Starfall form again. Okay. Here we go. I'm actually wondering if I even said that right. Well, either way, you will figure it out as you do this. So 46 seconds left. There's going to be another winter storm coming soon, which is a little bit annoying. Let's see. I'm getting ready to push. Let's get here. There's the winter storm. Now I'm wondering if I probably don't. Yeah, I didn't want to face. This is actually not perfect timing. Would be that here I would have the Chimera attack going in. So my Chimera attack is like 10 seconds late here compared to what would be absolutely perfect. And this is what you're looking for. Now I also have the hibernation in hand. So I have the hibernation. That's good. That's what I want. We're getting set up here. I need to get a good chimera attack so that I will be able to push the face. Let's do this. Let's do this. I could use an Earth Elemental because I will cycle fast enough that I will get back to it anyway. All right, here we go. Hibernation, then Eclipse, and then the Starfall. All right, first Starfall used, then Earth Elemental to kite Gish. So now we're kiting Gish around, and another piece of Eclipse, and then another Starfall. Just beautiful. And we can even kite Gish a little bit more. And that was already enough. I just threw more spells out there anyway. So even if you had a little bit lower lows, you might actually have enough time. But yeah, that's it. Pit of Saron Mythic. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.